want to tell you about a man who died for a goal. Not a goal he scored against an enemy. A goal he scored against himself. By accident. In front of the entire world. His name was Andrés Escobar. He was 27. And 10 days after that one unlucky touch of the ball, he was shot dead in a parking lot in his own city. 6 bullets. And with each one, they say, the gunman shouted the same word into the night: goal. How does that happen? How does a quiet, gentle defender end up dead over a football match? That's what I want to tell you about. And every word of it is true. Here's the thing you have to understand first. And it's the part that makes the ending hurt. In 1994, Colombia weren't just good. They were magic. The kind of team that makes a whole country believe in something. Pelé looked at them and said, "These are the ones. They're going to win the World Cup." And right at the heart of that team was Andrés. Calm, graceful. The kind of player who never looked rushed, never looked rattled. People didn't just respect him, they loved him. They called him the gentleman of football. And by every account I've read, he earned the name. But there was a shadow over all of it. Because in the Colombia of those years, you couldn't really pull football and the drug cartels apart. The money was everywhere. In the clubs, in the stands, and as we'll see, in much darker places than that. And then it all came apart in about 2 seconds. June the 22nd. Colombia against the United States. A ball came skidding across the box. Low, fast, awkward. Andrés did what every defender on earth does. He stuck out a leg to clear it, and it spun off his boot, past his own goalkeeper, and into his own net. That was it. The United States won, and Colombia, the team that was supposed to win the whole thing, were out. Gone. In the group stage. Just sit with that for a second. The hopes of an entire nation. And they came crashing down on one man, on one unlucky touch. He flew home to Medellín. The people who loved him told him to lie low for a while, stay out of sight. But Andrés was gentle and optimistic, and he didn't believe he had anything to hide from. So he didn't listen. Back home, he tried to pick himself up. He even wrote a piece in the newspaper, almost a letter to his country. "Life doesn't end here," he wrote, asking everyone to keep going. Hold on to those words for a moment. You'll see why. 10 days after the own goal, Andrés went out to a bar. Just an ordinary night. And in the parking lot afterward, an argument started. And then there were guns. 6 shots. And by the accounts that have trailed this case ever since, with every shot, the shooter called out that one word. Goal. Goal. 27 years old. The gentleman of football. Gone. Over a game. And this is the moment the story stops being a tragedy and turns into a mystery. Because almost nobody in Colombia believed it was really about a bar fight. So let me take you back to that shadow I mentioned, the drug money. In the Colombia of the early 90s, the cartels didn't just launder cash through football. They bet on it. Enormous sums. Fortunes riding on a single result. And when Colombia crashed out of that World Cup, those fortunes disappeared. Somebody somewhere lost a staggering amount of money on a team that was supposed to win. The man convicted of the killing was a bodyguard, tied to powerful traffickers. Officially, the court said it was an argument that spun out of control. But ask people there, and most will quietly tell you they never believed that. They think Andrés paid with his life because his mistake cost the wrong people far too much. The man who pulled the trigger served around 11 years. And the deepest questions, who really wanted this done and why, were never fully answered. Maybe they never will be. More than 100,000 people came out into the streets of Medellín for his funeral. 100,000. There's a statue of him there now, arms thrown wide, exactly the way he used to celebrate a goal. And those words he wrote, about life not ending, about carrying on, he believed them. And he was right about all of it, except how little time he had left. One touch of a ball, 10 days, and a single word, shouted in the dark. I'm glad I got to tell you about him. If you'll sit with me for the next file in the archive, you know where the button is. I'll see you there.